Eritrean government today reacted to a letter written by Ethiopian government to some heads of state and the UN Secretary General. Welcome to my views and news. Thanks for watching. Gradually, tensions are rising between Eritrea and Ethiopia. Did two videos about a letter written by Ethiopia to some country heads, to some heads of state and UN Secretary General, and Eritrea today formally responded to this letter. Second update for you: I told you about the arrest of Zeminekasi's spiritual mentor in Mirawi. Is he still in custody or released? Let's start with this story. I did a video 2 days ago. I told you about the arrest of Yenita Yebabe, who is an Orthodox church elder based in Mirawi, Gujjam, where he teaches students even from Gondar come to this monastery. He's a well-respected man. People say that he is Minakasi's spiritual mentor, religious teacher. And some accuse him of providing spiritual support to Fano fighters. Ethiopian National Defense Force officials arrested this man 3 days ago. A video on that. But then we saw protests for the release of this man. Generally, when Ethiopian military arrests people in the Mali, people don't protest. They fear that if they protest, they'll be arrested too. But this man is so respected and followed by the people that people took to the streets. Hundreds took to the streets 48 hours ago. They called for his release. Ethiopian military handed him over to the government. And now what we are hearing is that the man has been released. 3,000 birr, bail, bond, he furnished, and he has been released. He's been released because of the protests by the people. Otherwise, military would have kept him in custody. But since people, his students, Orthodox followers protested, and the protests could have gone bigger, that is why military handed him over to the government, and now he has been released. Back to main news story, viewers. Eritrea today formally responded to a letter written by the Ethiopian government. I did two videos on this letter, though letter has not been made public by the Ethiopian government, but we know letter was written and now it has been confirmed because Eritrean government formally responded to this letter through a statement. Ministry of Information of Eritrea issued a statement about the letter written by the Ethiopian government. The Ministry of Information of Eritrea says that Ethiopian government has launched an intense diplomatic campaign against Eritrea. Ethiopian government is sending messages to the UN Secretary General and several heads of states. And in these messages, the Ethiopian government is accusing Eritrea of being aggressive and of violating Ethiopian sovereignty and territorial integrity. So my report confirmed that a letter was written by the Ethiopian government to some countries. I mentioned names of the countries too in a video 2 days ago. Confirmed. Eritrea says that the letter is meant to mislead and deceive the international community. Prosperity Party for the last 2 years, almost quote unquote, I am sharing with you what the Eritrean government is saying. For the last 2 years, Ethiopian Prosperity Party, ruling party, has been working on a poisonous campaign. It has been working on war agenda. Ethiopian ruling party wants to annex Eritrean maritime territories. Ethiopian government wants to seize Eritrean ports. And Ethiopian government said in a statement that it wants the access through dialogue or through the use of force if needed. Eritrea says that Ethiopian government has procured new arms shipments recently. It is involved in some other activities too, which indicate that Ethiopia is working on war agenda. It is preparing for war against Eritrea. And Eritrea is under threat. Eritrean sovereignty, territorial integrity is under threat as Ethiopia is procuring weapons and conducting other activities which pose a threat to Eritrea. The cause of this tension between the two countries, Eritrea says, the cause of this tension between the two countries is Ethiopian government's illegal desire to annex Eritrean maritime territories, Eritrean port. And the Eritrean government says that Eritrea is not in occupation of any Ethiopian territory. Rather, successive Ethiopian governments, they remained in occupation of Eritrean territory in violation of Eritrea-Ethiopia Boundary Commission verdict. So, Eritrea is saying that basically this conflict between the two countries started 2 years ago when the Ethiopian Prime Minister delivered a speech and he said that Ethiopia had natural rights to gain access to sea in September 2023. This is what I've been saying, that real tension started in 2023. Though a lot happened before that, before 2023, September 23, Ethiopia tried to engage Eritrea. It tried to convince Eritrea to give sea access to Ethiopia. Eritrea did not agree, and then Ethiopian PM came out in the public, delivered a speech, and lashed out at Eritrea without naming Eritrea, vowing sea access. So, main apple of discord between the two countries is sea access. This is what Eritrea is saying. Ethiopia says that Eritrea is working to topple Ethiopian government. Eritrea is obstructing Pretoria. Eritrea is in occupation of Ethiopian territories. Eritrea says no, whatever Ethiopia is saying is incorrect. Basically, Ethiopia wants Assam. Eritrea won't give away its territories. That is why Ethiopia is buying weapons, making preparations for war. Ethiopia says Eritrea is arming TPLF, arming Fano. It wants these groups to march towards Addis Ababa. Now, their escalation of tensions has reached a level from where they will only withdraw if there is intervention. I mean, both are accusing each other of practical steps. Eritrea saying Ethiopia is buying weapons meant to invade Eritrea. Ethiopia says Eritrea is arming TPLF, Fano fighters, and it is working to topple Ethiopian PM's government. It means the two are not involved in just a verbal war of words. Both are involved in a real confrontation, which is more than verbal war of words, less than full-scale war. Preparations are there. No doubt, preparations are there for a collision. When will it happen? we don't know. Uh, Ethiopia has written a letter preemptively, maybe. It plans to do something big against Eritrea, or it fears that Eritrea could mobilize its allies in Ethiopia against the government. Whatever the case is, uh, tensions are visible. Even a layman can see that if there is no intervention, they will fight. When? We don't know. I'll say war is imminent the day I get information from the ground that they have decided to uh, fire the first shot. Signs are there, keeping in view the air artillery deployment to Hajar, but still a lot needs to be verified. And after that, we can say that now war is imminent. Thanks for watching.